There we go. Oh, give me 1 second. I need to mute myself. Okay. Now there we go. All right. So the fun parts about going live is you never know what's going to happen. So I am super excited today. I'm going to be sharing a very important topic that I think a lot of parents are wondering, how in the world do I win this fight between me and my child's school? Feels like I have been fighting all year. It feels like I am being dismissed. I am not feeling heard, not validated, very disrespected. Like, this is my child. I know these things, but they're not hearing me. They are not listening to me. So, what I would like to do is talk about those things. So I have a few points here that is going to be very helpful. I think that when we are going through these different battles with the school, that there is a particular way on how to do it. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into it. All right. So like I said, I want to definitely give you a winning strategy that's going to give you like that ultimate advantage to get your child the assistance they need in order to master their school year. Now, yes, we are at the end of this particular school year, but what the parents that I am currently working with, we are actually beginning to put these strategies in place right now for next year. And it's very important that you start now for next year so you're not behind the curve, and you actually get to have the advantage like over the school. And it's not, I really don't like using it because the way I'm getting ready to explain this fight and how we should go about it, it's not like you're bumping heads, even though it feels that way. But it's a way of it's almost like it is the parent who has to be the bigger person and kind of guide everybody involved on how to be a team, how to make things work for their child. And so I do want to kind of give a story. So there was a particular parent that I was talking with. And why, like, I'm bringing this up, the importance of it is because the parent, she was expressing to me how she has been like literally fighting with the school. And so it is getting to the point of where it was actually to the child's demise. And so her fighting for her child actually kind of left her child out back. The school was now at the point of where they didn't want to hear her. They were not happy to see her child because of her actions, and so forth. Now, here's the thing though. It's all out of passion and love for our child. And when we show up, we're showing up out of, like I said, out of love and passion for our child. And so that can come off to the school, the teacher, the staff as being combative, or being, in my case, the angry Black mama. You know what I mean? Like, we get these titles in these things that it's unnecessary, but had they listened the first time, we wouldn't be here, right? And I know a lot of parents have said that. So I am definitely going to give you 3 easy steps to that I took actually to that was effective in negotiating for Kayden his needs without coming across as that parent. Okay. So the first thing is, one thing I learned, and I didn't get this right off the bat. Like, I got it wrong so many times. And so eventually it was like, after butting heads, like, listen, I was like, I need something new because this isn't working for me. A lot of parents, they don't have the option to homeschool their kids. A lot of parents don't have the option to just leave work and just say, you know what, or the finances to put their child in a private school, right? So it's like, how do we make this work with what we have right now? And so the first thing that I want to say is, which was actually the hardest for me, I ain't gonna lie. which is, you know, you have to check your emotions at the door. And so because of that love and that passion that we have for our kid and making sure that things are right, but also it's an emotional toll because it's like you see your child struggling, you see them, you see not only that they're struggling, but you also see their potential and where they could be. And so you try to send that or communicate that across to the teacher, but it's like it's not being heard. And so eventually when somebody is not being heard and you feel like your voice is just like being shut down time after time, I understand how easy it can be to get frustrated and mad and just upset. I know for me, I cried like so many times, like just in anger. I was so mad that I cried. And so, we have to check our emotions at the door. And, kind of going into that, there are, and I'm going to give you the reason why this is important to do. But with going into a situation and your emotions are heightened, especially after you've been dealing with this for so long, and you feel like there are no other options except for to continue to just like go in and fight and fight and fight. The thing about it is they feed off your anger. They document you as the parent. They document that. They document when you cry. They document when you cuss somebody out, fuss somebody out, and it's only to their benefit. To their benefit and not your benefit. And although your emotions are proper, your emotions are appropriate for what has been happening, it's like, that's why I say you have to be the bigger person and like check those emotions at the door. And like I said, this was the hardest thing for me, because it's number one, I'm tired. I've been dealing with home situations and balancing forever. And then to go into the school where somebody told me that they're going to help me, that we are a team, that we're going to, we're going to get your child the help that they need. To hear that, and in the beginning, it's so reassuring. But then what they do, their actions are actually different from what they said in the beginning. So that's when, like, I understand the emotion, and it's like, you lied to me. Like, I don't trust you anymore. So, you checking your emotions at the door, it allows you not only it's again, when you're upset and all that, it's going to be to their benefit because they're documenting that. But at the end of the day, when you check your emotions at the door, you can be fully present for what they're saying. So a lot of the times we have to begin to like kind of read in between the lines of what they're not saying. And so knowing like those questions to ask, and I'm kind of getting a little deep into this, but knowing what questions to ask and knowing, how to actually, how do you say that? Like, it's like knowing the right questions to ask so that it's like you have to bring out all of the things that they're hiding and what they're not saying. So that's number one, is checking your emotions at the door. Now, number two is know where your child struggles. Let's see. Know where your child struggles, or know your child struggles in the school setting. Because your child, what I learned is that when Kayden is at school, there's a different struggle at school than there is at home. And it's just simply because of environment. So he's more comfortable at home. So he'll probably, interact with things in that environment completely different from how he interacted at school. And another thing is children who are, especially I know for a fact on the spectrum, having autism and may have other learning disabilities, they are actually really manipulating. And I'll say this about my child, and just like he knows how to work a room to get whatever he wants. So in school, I tell the people, you got to pick up on these things, because if not, he's going to run your whole classroom. And therefore he did, because they did not do what I told them to do. And that was to their own fault. But anyway, you want to know what your child's needs are inside of the school setting. But then also you want to know, the other part of it is you want to know your local area, your area, what do they actually provide for your child within that need, right? So becoming knowledgeable about, like fully knowledgeable about like everything that your child needs. Okay. So here's the thing. So when we check, that's why I say check your emotions at the door, because that way you can ask the proper questions because you're not sitting in class with your child. And nowadays they don't even allow you in the school. At least here, they don't even allow you in the school. So you have to know, like, how do you ask those questions so that you understand what the needs are for your child in that school setting. And then once you understand that, going back and doing your research on this is what we offer if your child is doing this. Now, I will say this. If your child has an IEP, the school has to provide what is needed in order for that child to move forward and to be successful in school. Now, most of the time, I say this all the time, most of the time, in order to save that budget that they have, because also if your child has an IEP, the school gets a certain amount of money, which is why I'm not going to say that, but your school gets a certain amount of money, particularly for your child. And so based off of the needs, and which is why I say you have to act early, because when that budget comes in, that money, it can properly be dispersed for your child. If not, they're going to take your child's money and move it into where they want to move it into. So when you're knowledgeable about what's needed, when you sit in that meeting, you are not operating out of emotion, but you're operating out of knowledge and understanding of what your child needs and what rights your child has. So, what I want to say to this, because a lot of times that research is harder and you have to really dig for that. So what I want to say is, if you would like, I have a free masterclass that helps full-time working parents with children who are in 2nd through 3rd grade, helping them to navigate those different areas. And so let me actually just pull that up. Oh, I see I have a comment. And so you can actually access that masterclass at www.wakeupyourchildsbrain.com. And when you go there, it's completely free. It's completely free. And then there's also a little gift at the end. But when you go there, you go through the masterclass. We can talk about all of those things that all of those things that are needed for all those things that are needed as you're getting knowledgeable about the things your child needs. Now, mind you, again, the school gets a complete budget for your child. There's a set amount of money. That's why I say you have to act fast. So starting right now for next year and getting your child the things that they need. Okay. So, okay, I didn't see that. All right. So what I want to do is move on to the third step in this strategy of the third step in how to actually have a winning strategy to help your child succeed in school. Okay. And getting them all the things that they need, and making sure that when you're fighting appropriately and not to your child's demise. Okay. So the third thing is don't show up in the capacity of a parent. You want to show up. I know, I think in our community, the word is advocate, but I want to use another word. I want you to show up in the capacity of your child's lawyer. And the reason I say lawyer is because when you think about a lawyer, they come in, they're like ready for their case. They sit down, they got their briefcase, they got all the stuff they needed. And they're like, their face is like, it's all business. Like, listen, and you don't see no tears. You don't see me mad. No, it's business. And it's a professional way to show up, because when you're showing up in these IEP meetings, they are looking for that parent who's full of emotion. Why? Because if a parent is full of emotion, they will know how to ease emotion, to tell you whatever you want to hear, to just get you out of their face and for them to move on with their day. Think I'm playing. That's why you're going through what you're going through now. You have a meeting, you think everything's good. Things are wait for them to implement the things that you guys talked about, and nothing happens. This is why you're frustrated. You feeling unheard, unvalidated, dismissed. You know what I mean? But if you show up in the capacity of your child's advocate or your child's lawyer, you're prepared. You know exactly. You've been documenting everything, because the IEP is it's a contract, and if they breach that contract, you can sue them. They have a lawsuit on their hands. However, I don't want you to go about it like that aggressive, like this is our, like, no, just show up professional and say, these are the things that we are discussing. This is what I need. You do not have to sign any document if you're saying something that you know that your child needs. Now, there's give and take when you're negotiating, your child's IEP. It's give and take. So know what is a necessity for your child, and know what's kind of like we can work on that. That's not a thing. Like, I can give on that, right? So when you understand these things and you show up in that capacity, professional, and not as a parent, you will be heard more than you will be heard better than showing up within your emotion, because you're prepared, you're equipped, you're knowledgeable, you're understanding of the things that are going on, because they're not expecting you to know. They hide this information so deep, okay? And so again, if you go through that free masterclass, we'll talk about how do you actually get yourself set up to be in a place of where you can get past the emotion and get to a place of where you can show up in the capacity of professionalism, and meeting the staff, the teachers, your child's special needs teacher, like showing up in the place of where you guys are like neck and neck, except now you have the advantage because now they're not expecting you to be in that capacity. All right, so that's what I have to share with you. My name is Alicia Richardson. I am the academic interception coach, and I am here to help those parents who are struggling to get their child the help they need in order to pass second, third, fourth grade, building those foundational steps. Again, full-time working parents, because I am there, like, working full-time in my business and making sure that my child has everything that he needs. Okay. So again, go to www.wakeupyourchildsbrain to access that free masterclass. Again, there's a treat at the end of it. That's all I have to share today. I thank you for listening. Have an amazing day.